All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Get Rich or Get Drunk Trying podcast. I am your host, Asia Abston. How have you guys been? What have you been up to? It's been a little bit since we've been connected. Um, I have been so busy teaching these classes that I have not gotten a chance to hop on the podcast, and I want to apologize. But in case you don't know, the Insta Marketer Workshop dropped a week and a half ago, and you guys have been eating it up. I am teaching you my strategy to gaining 27,000 new followers, targeted followers, hyper targeted followers in 7 months. No ads, no shout outs. I did not make the shade room. I never went viral, and I am not an influencer. I am just using some high key, amazing Instagram strategies. Also, my followers are actually paying customers. And I had been talking about this on my page, and everybody was in my DMs like crazy trying to figure out how I'm doing it. So, you know me, I had to drop a workshop. The workshop is 2.5 hours. I will link it for you guys in the show notes. And man, that was an amazing class. Everybody learned so much. And I just want to say shout out to my students. I appreciate you. Now, on to today's incredible interview. I have got Bianca Builds Brands with me, and we are going to deep dive into what you're doing wrong, how we can fix your brand, and how you can make more money in your e-commerce store. Grab a notebook and tap in. I would like to welcome the Bianca Rush, beauty business coach, rock star entrepreneur, seven-figure business owner. Welcome, sis.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for carving out an hour for me today. I know you are busy juggling 1711 projects, but I feel very VIP to have you.
You are. You very, very VIP.
Yes, ma'am. I love it. Y'all heard it here first. So, Bianca, I found you via the love of my life, Jance Charté.
My BFF.
Right? I was in Jance's accelerator about a year ago, and I just decided that she and I were going to be friends, and that's it. And anyone that she is connected to, I like to connect to because we have the same business sense of wanting to learn from experts. So that's how I found you, and I've been addicted to your content ever since.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Chance is pretty much my business bestie. We have the same brain. It's crazy because even just when we're talking in person, it's just like the same person. We choose the same. Everything is the same. It's really crazy like that. But yeah, Chance is one of the best,
Yeah,
and
she's the
I
best.
always love talking to her. But we are literally twins that do two different things. But yeah,
Well, that means I've had one sister on the show. I got to have the other sister on
yeah,
the
the
show.
other sister.
But for those of us in the audience who don't know about
hmm
Bianca Rush, give me a little backdrop, give me a little background story. How did you get into running beauty business brands?
Oh, okay. So that's a really, really good question. Hey, I'll just introduce. Hi, everybody. I'm Bianca. I have been in the beauty space for 10 years, so a decade. I got started literally, I didn't grow up in beauty. I don't do hair because people ask me that all the time. I don't do hair. I didn't have any like understanding or knowledge of beauty, but I was working in corporate 10 years ago, and I was really frustrated with the money that I was making. I was like, look, I'm putting in 60, 70 hours. My check is still looking the same. I need something to shake. Like I knew I wanted to hit a certain savings goal. And as I was looking at my check, as consistent as it was, I knew I wasn't going to have enough money for the type of life that I wanted to live. So I was thinking to myself, what can I do to make a little extra money? So entrepreneurship was never the word that I thought about. I really called myself a side hustler. So that was when everybody had that side hustle. That was a huge buzzword. Now it's like entrepreneur, expert, all of that jazz. Like we have different words, but no one's going to classify as a side hustler. And that's really what I was. So I thought to myself, like, look, what can I do to make a little extra money? I was talking to my friends, and all of my friends, even to date are not entrepreneurs. Most of them are 9 to 5ers, which I really can appreciate because it gives me a lot of balance. Because I do have my entrepreneurial friends, and then I have my more corporate, just they love what they do, 9 to 5 friends as well. But as I was talking to them, they couldn't really come up with much. So I was laying in the bed one day and I was watching Toya and Tiny show or Tiny and Toya show on BET, real throwback. And I was like, dang, Toya's hair looks so good. Like I never wore hair extensions too. Let me just be clear on that. I was always natural hair. So I was like, dang, I really love her hair. So I just was really thinking. And then I got on Twitter. This was before Instagram had really came to what it was. And she was saying, shout out to, and she shout out to where she got her hair. She's like, tonight's episode, I'm rocking. And she said what she got. I was like, oh, let me go ahead and click on this profile. So I click on the profile and I noticed that the hair store is in Atlanta. I was like, oh, that's perfect. It's up the street. I'm going to make plans to go. So I made plans to go later that week. And when I walked in there, I was greeted by the owner. It's a man. They're no longer there anymore, but it was a guy that owned it. And he was like, hey, how can I help you? What are you looking for? And I said, oh, I saw a tweet on Twitter from Toya. I really want the hair that she's wearing. So he was like, oh, she normally gets X, Y, and Z. So he showed me the hair and he was like, well, pick out what you want. I was pretty much, a person that wears natural hair. I knew nothing about what I was looking at. So I had another young woman who actually, she does this, like she wears hair extensions. She was like, oh, you need to wear 24 inches, 28 inches. And I was like, yo, I'm in corporate and I need something short. And as I was just kind of, she was like, well, just look and see what you want. So I was looking and playing in hair. And as I was doing that, I noticed 3 other women came in behind me and they knew exactly what they wanted. And they're spending $300, $400 each easily. So I'm thinking to myself, this guy's about to make $1,200 in 20 minutes. And then he's going to get my money on top of it. So I thought to myself, like, look, I told him I'll come back, which I did. I did go back later. But when I walked out, I called my friends. I was like, I want to sell hair. I said, I got to sell hair. They're like, why are you going to sell hair? You don't even wear hair. We don't wear hair. How you going to sell hair and you don't even wear hair extensions? I said, I don't know. I'm going to figure it out though. So I really went to the hair salon literally the next week or so because Ming Lee, who was on Instagram, I am Ming Lee, shout out to her. She was my hairstylist at the time. So I was sitting in her chair and I was talking to her and I was like, she's like, what you do this past week? And I'm telling her what I did. And I was like, you know what? I really want to start selling hair. Ming told me, she was like, yo, I used to sell hair in Detroit. I can definitely give you some pointers and tips on how to get started into that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I would love that. So she and I actually met up one day and she just started telling me about coaching me and telling me about hair, all the ins and outs of hair. And she actually plugged me in with my first vendor. And that was based in Atlanta. That person's no longer here either, but was based in Atlanta. And Ming Lee, shout out to her, really paved the way for me to get started. And then once I got started, I was like, what am I going to name it? And I was like, oh, I knew I wanted the word Mitchell in it. So Mitchell is my mother's maiden name and my grandmother, my family's last name is Mitchell. So I was like, okay, I want Mitchell. And then a friend of mine at the time was like, why don't you name it Sassy Mitchell? And I was like, oh, okay, that has a little bring to it. It doesn't really tell you what it
Mm-hmm.
is. It makes people look it up. Because I wanted people to look up my brand name. I didn't want them to know that it was Mink Extensions or something. No, no shade to anyone that's named Mink Extensions, but I didn't want it to be so obvious what I was selling because I knew I wanted to sell more than just hair possibly at a point in time. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, Sassy Mitchell, I established a name. And then Ming, again, bringing her back into the story, she put me on to like my first like real client that was heavily plugged in. Like I gave her some hair extensions. Ming did her hair. This is when shout outs were like people would just love to get stuff. They just
Yeah.
like they showed thankful. Like oh, I'm so thankful for this. Now you got to pay to play. But
Mm-hmm.
during that time, people was not charging. They're like, yo, I'll just shout you out. It's cool. Thank you for this. She shouted me out, and then I started getting all of her little her ring of people, like
Her
all of her plug.
entourage.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
all of them. And then that's really how it started. Like from me watching a TV show, sawing the money that could be made, and I just started really hustling. And Ming educated me, and then I started going to strip clubs, meeting up with the girls at the strip clubs. I ended up meeting up people at the gas station, selling her out of my trunk.
I know that's right. Haven't we all been there? I see, I'm already hearing a ton of takeaways from this story. First of all, guys, Bianca was already in a corporate space. She had a job, but she was looking for a side hustle. Don't get so trapped in your paycheck and its consistency, no matter how much money you make. that you're not interested and open to other opportunities because you just never know where it will take you. It's perfectly okay if you love your job, keep your job. Nobody's telling you, to quit today, but be open to the concept of side hustles and other ventures. Love that takeaway. Secondly, inspiration can come from everywhere. Once you open your mind to something, inspiration can come to you. Bianca was just watching a silly reality TV show and launched a huge beauty brand after being inspired from that. But she acted on it and got into that store and started looking around. And that's what sparked her interest. Then she opened her mouth to someone who could help her. That's another huge takeaway. Tell your story. Talk to people in your network and in your community. You never know who has some insights to share with you, because look at what happened to Bianca. Ming put you on, and that wound up being a springboard to your entire brand. These are the takeaways we're already getting from Bianca, and we're just getting into her origin story. So you already know. Okay, she is going to be bringing us content. We haven't even gotten to the questions, and we already got notes. I love it, sis. I'm so here for this. I'm so excited. So that's how Sassy Mitchell was born. Oh, another takeaway. I love that you said you were already thinking high level. You were already thinking to the future with the name of your brand. It wasn't like you said XYZ hair or XYZ extensions. You already knew that you wanted to craft an umbrella style corporation or company. And I love that. That's another takeaway, guys. Everything doesn't have to be so cut and dry. You can have some intrigue behind your brand name. Think about that. That's something to look into. So Sassy Mitchell was born. What happened after that?
So Sassy Mitchell was born. It's funny, when it first started, I had my homegirl answering my phone. So I had a Google number. That was one of the things I knew I wanted. I did not want to use my phone because I was still working in corporate and could not have my phone ringing. Like, I worked in a team environment. Everybody in the same room. We all getting it in, whatever we're working
You
on.
couldn't have strippers calling
So
your phone
yeah,
all
no,
day.
I can't have the
Not
dancers
while you were in the
calling me.
office.
The
Right.
dancers cannot call me and ask me, can I meet them at their shift? I can't do
Right.
that.
Right.
So I actually have I had a homegirl who worked a job as well, but she worked in like a mattress store. She was like the manager or something. People weren't coming in until the evening time after work. So I was like, yo, can I route my calls to your phone? And she was like, absolutely, I'll take your calls. Cause she's like, she tells me how bored she was during the day. I was like, I got something for you to do. So my friend used to actually take my orders for me and just tell me like what I need to pretty much put together when I get off of work. So she would tell them like, oh yeah, we'll take your order and you'll get another call around, it'll be like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock for you to either pick it up or it can be brought to you. So the people were okay with that. They're like, okay, cool, I'll get it today. Cool. It's just like
Hmm.
an Uber. Like, you'll get it
Right.
today. You're scheduling your delivery
I
pretty
love
much.
it.
So she used to take my money orders for me. And then it became pretty much where her phone would keep ringing, even in the evenings. But she was like, oh, I keep missing these calls. And I was like, oh man, we're missing calls at this point. So then I don't know how word got to it, but word got to my mother. So this was literally 10 years ago. So I had to be a cool little 23, 24 years old.
I
So
love it.
so my mother was like, B. No, actually, my mother's not coming B. She's coming Bianca. She's like, Bianca, somebody called me and told me that you're selling hair. And I was like, oh yeah, I
On
am.
the
I'm
side,
selling.
mom. I didn't
I'm
leave
just
my
doing something.
job.
I didn't leave my job, I'm doing something on the side. She's like, yeah, someone's calling me, asking me, can they come to my house to get some hair? And I was like, who said that? And then she told me who said it, and I was like, oh yeah, I started selling hair. I'm just, I'm trying to maneuver it without her assistance because I was still fresh and new into it. I didn't want to throw anything on my family's plate because I was like,
Mm.
it's still new. Like, we ain't popping like that. I don't really need your help. So then over time, like I said, when Ming plugged me into that circle, I started getting the groups like the who's and the models and the influencers, celebrities, and they just started calling, like calling to the point that I couldn't. My phone kept ringing.
You
I got
couldn't keep up.
I couldn't keep up, and I got investigated at my job. They started running and tracking my computer. They were like, "We see a lot of traffic on this particular website, and your
Oh
phone keeps ringing."
no.
I had to like literally go in and admit to I started a business, but I am in no way doing like letting that interrupt what my focus is at work.
Hmm.
So then I had to share it with my mother, and she was like, "Well, I'll help you. It's fine." So then I routed the phone number from my friend to my mother, and that's when it just kind of like took off. Like my mother started taking all of these calls, and then it became so many calls and emails, and my website got shut down literally at least twice. Like I lost my whole
Because you had
website,
so much
so much
traffic.
traffic. Yeah, because I
That's
ended up
insane.
I ended up getting connected with Drea Michelle, who lives out in LA.
Hmm.
Ended up finding me. She's like, hey, I want some hair. I got her some hair to her. She shouted me out. My website could not take it.
Crashed
My
it.
my website crashed twice.
I love
And
it.
then from Drea it went to Carucci, and it just kept growing. Then Tiana Taylor, and it just kept freaking growing. My website kept crashing, and my mother was like losing weight because she couldn't eat because
Oh,
it just it all.
oh,
This is like
mom,
this
because
is
she
the
was glued to the cell phone. She
she
couldn't
was
move
glued. She was glued to the phone, and it became so much that my parents built out a room in their house just for hair because
for
I could
inventory.
for inventory because I couldn't keep it in my trunk anymore. I couldn't have people come to my place anymore. Like I had a little hair store in my place that I had clients come to, and I had little barrels, like literally the containers weren't that big, but I had hair like what I saw when I went to that store with the
That is
guy. But
crazy. So
I
you
put
had a
it in
little
my
mixed
house.
beauty supply store.
I had a mixed beauty supply store. People would pay me cash because I
Yeah.
told them that I couldn't take card. Like PayPal was still, and people were figuring it out.
Yeah, it was
So,
a decade ago. You didn't
yeah.
have systems in place to take this much business.
No, I used to hand write their receipts.
That's
I
crazy.
bought the little throwback invoice books that you can get from like Office Depot.
With the little copy, the yellow
You
one and the white one.
copy, yeah, and I used to keep the yellow. Like, it was such a throwback. I hand wrote because I didn't have a
A
system like we have
system.
now, and
Right.
they paid cash, and they used to take the
Hmm.
receipt, take the hair, and then it would go on. So that's like the fast track story.
That is first of all hilarious. And shout out to what's the generation after us? We're millennials. What's the younger one? I don't even know. But shout out
Gen
to y'all, Z or X or whoever you are.
Gen
Y'all
Z.
don't know nothing about that. You've never handwritten a receipt. You don't even know. This is when I talk to women, younger women, they're always like, everything is so hard. I'm like, girl, with Shopify? You got an app on
Right,
your phone. You have 7,000 apps on your phone that will do
right.
XYZ for you. Some of us had to get it literally out the
And
mud, out of our
yes.
trunk with our mom losing weight, taking phone calls. Y'all have it easy. I don't even want to, and y'all have Instagram. I don't want to hear it. Some of us
Hmm.
were literally like hustling on Twitter, struggling in Facebook, trying to get sales. So I really love that origin story. Where is your hair brand now? Have you stayed with it a decade later? What's the situation?
Yes, so I've stayed with it now. And to be honest with you, since over that time, I've actually transitioned a lot more into the coaching space, which is what you see me doing now. So between that time, I started like two other brands that have all done really well for themselves. And yes, I still focus on the hair, but is it my primary focus at this point in my life? No, it's not. Does it run on its own? Yes, it does.
I know that's
So
right.
it's pretty much like a oil machine. Like orders come, I don't have to promote. Sales come, I don't have to run ads. Sales come, but whenever I want to fire it up and put a little more fuel on it and gas,
You always can.
I know what to do. Like I know what to do. I know what emails to send. I have well over 20,000 emails of women that just want hair,
I
and
love
I
it.
know I can grow that list really quickly too. So it's kind of like whenever I'm ready, what I like to call a cash injection. When I need to make a little quick
Hmm.
little something, I know
You
what to do
always
with
can.
that.
That's
Yeah.
another takeaway, guys. Start now. Just start now. Bianca never knew 10 years ago where this brand would take her. And now she has a company that's basically running on autopilot that she can tap into whenever she needs to while doing other things. But that will never happen for you if you continue to procrastinate. You don't get started. You let time keep flying. We're already in 2021 in April somehow. It was just New Year's Eve last night. Time is not waiting for you. Get busy, get started. I want to talk about your coaching
Okay.
because I love coaching. First of all, I've become a coach because I love coaching so much. Sharing information is the best way to master your craft. It's the best way to connect with people. That's why I have someone like Bianca on the show because I want to be coached by her. I'm trying to sign up. I'm trying to get in the accelerators and the everything. Like I need more
So
information. When did you launch your coaching business and have you fallen in love with it?
yeah, and this is a part of my other story. So after I transitioned, when I was in corporate, I moved on to full-time entrepreneurship. be honest with you, I had too much time on my hands. I got bored. I was like, I need to do something else. So I actually became like a certified teacher. I went back to go teach. So
Oh,
I went to go teach like high school. I went back to school while running
that
my
well, okay.
businesses.
So pause. So Sassy is making money
Yeah,
24/7, and you
period.
decide to go get a teaching certificate.
I did. I
That seems
decided to go
so
become an
random. Wait,
educator.
but did you know you wanted to coach, or you just?
So when I was 17 years old, I knew I wanted to be a teacher.
Oh.
I didn't go into that track because I respect my father so much, and he was just saying, "You're not doing that." So I didn't do it. So I
And I
always had like
imagine he said you weren't doing that based on the financials, right? Because teachers don't make money.
based on the financials. But
Gotcha.
yes, based on the financials, teaching it's pretty much recession proof. You're gonna always have a job
Oh,
because people need a
100%.
teacher.
But are you going to
But
make that
but
increase?
you're not but the money that teachers need to get paid, that's a whole nother story for a whole different
Yeah,
day.
100%.
The money that educators need to make is just not there. And my father knew that. So
Gotcha.
I didn't go into it. So I became certified to be a teacher. I learned how to teach. And then fast forward to where your question is now, coaching is just like
An
fills my
extension
heart.
of
It's an
that.
extension of teaching, but it's the type of teaching I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been a coach. I'm relatively new to this whole coaching space as far as being more streamlined and on point with what it needs to look like. Because with me, I can get you together, but like all this dubsados and all that, that's all
Oh,
new
I'm
to
the
me.
same way. I'm the same way. I've had a real organic
Yeah,
teaching
yeah, yeah.
style.
Yeah, so I've been in the whole coaching space for maybe 2 years,
Okay.
and I absolutely love it. So teaching is my entire passion, my whole heart. So whenever I teach and whenever I share, I really share the things that people need to know. Like I'm not skimping over the whole what I don't want to shade anybody, so I'm being very mindful of my words. But I don't coach just the surface of information and that's it. Like
I
I
see
really
that.
tell people stuff that really they need to know. And some of the stuff people are like, yo, people would pay to learn this. Okay, cool. If you want to pay, you're gonna pay for it. Cause I'm gonna teach you how to implement it. Like I can tell you what it is, but the implementation part is the hard part. That's where I come in to make it easier for you. So I don't mind sharing the juice or the sauce as
I
people call
love that. And that's why you're here with me to share the sauce with the
it.
audience. Yes, Lord. And I love that full circle moment that teaching was what you wanted to do no matter what. And then you went the corporate route as respect to your parents. You went the entrepreneurship route. But once you got those ducks in a row, your life wound up circling back to teaching. So it's just a message to you guys out there, whatever your thing is, whatever moves your spirit, whatever fulfills you, go ahead and do it because clearly that's what the universe wants for you. And Bianca's building an entire business based on something that she loves to do anyway. And that's
Mhm.
what you guys all want for your lives. Um,
Mhm.
so your specification, your specialty in coaching is for
Mhm.
beauty brand owners. And you talk a lot
Mhm.
about positioning.
Mhm.
And you talk about positioning like an art form. Can you give us some scoop on positioning? How can we achieve it for our brands, beauty
Right.
and otherwise?
Yeah, so positioning is all about letting people know why they need to buy from you. Like why is your business? Pretty much when it comes to beauty, I work with beauty, wellness, skincare, hair care, hair accessories, and hair extensions. So those are all variations of products. And we already know there's a lot of things out in the world. So when it comes to positioning, you're pretty much thinking to yourself, what do I need to say or what do I need to show that is different from what is already on shelves? What people can go down the street and grab, what people can Uber to their homes. Like, how can you differentiate and be different? So, what is that position for you? So, when it comes to skincare, what is that little secret sauce about you? So, some people want to shy away from being like all natural, but all natural is what people pay for. So, it's pretty much how are you going to build a tribe of people that absolutely love your product? And what makes it so special and unique that is different from what is on shelves? You want people to choose you over what's down the street. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that comes through building out a community. A lot of that comes down through well, we can get into photography and all that, but really, what are your materials? What are your ingredients? Taking your time and showing that your product can solve problems, which we've all heard. You want a product that can solve problems, but what is that true problem that you can solve? And then once you solve one problem, you can build out around it. So positioning really is digging into how are you different than what's already out. And different can be level of service. So
Mm.
maybe you ship faster than others. Different can be your client or customer or experienced customer service. It can be your products in itself. It can be the fact that your packaging is like you have to kind of think outside of the box because sometimes everything that's made has already been made. So now
Right.
it's like, what can I do different? So I know for me, hair extensions were already out. How did I separate myself from the rest? I shipped same day. How did I separate myself from the rest? I had an actual phone line. Because normally brands don't, you can't talk to people. They just say email us, contact us box. I have a phone line, always have been, where you can talk to a live person and you can order over the phone and get your questions answered. So positioning is all about that, like thinking outside the box. How can I attract people to my business and keep them? And what is my little like special nugget that makes us different? If it's not the ingredients, then is it going to be the level of service? Is it going to be your shipping? Is it the fact that if I order Monday, it's shipped Monday evening or shipped Tuesday morning instead of saying it takes 3 to 4 days to process and 5 days to ship? So kind of thinking like, where can I have a secret weapon in my business is all about like that's how the positioning works.
I
What is
love
my secret?
that. What is the secret weapon in your business? You hit that one on the head where there's nothing new under the sun. Chances
Mm-hmm.
are you guys are not inventing some brand new product that no one has ever seen before. This is something that already exists. But what is your unique value proposition? What is it that you do that nobody else can do? Or what is it that your product has that no other product has? And this does extend to different entrepreneurs that are not in the beauty and wellness space. Like Bianca said, maybe it's your customer service. Maybe it is, the way that you deliver the messaging. Whatever it is, position yourself as an expert and as something unique in your space. Agreed, agreed,
Mm-hmm.
agreed. Many entrepreneurs can attract customers to their websites, but they struggle
Mm-hmm.
to convert them to paying customers.
Mm-hmm.
What do you find that we're lacking most in that space between attracting and converting?
Okay. So if you can attract people to your website and people are not buying, then there's a trust factor wrong with your website. They don't trust you. So what that means for you is it could be maybe the security badge on your website is not showing. So make sure that that little lockbox that you see in the browser is actually turned on. That's like a little small issue. But going on from there, thinking about
But
how
I
many,
wouldn't buy from a website that didn't have the
yeah,
lockbox.
right, yeah, yeah. Some people like
It's
you
a
just gotta
scam.
check, and
I
yeah,
don't
it's
want
just
my credit card to get stolen.
yeah, that
So
part.
that does
Mm,
matter.
yeah, so that could be a trust issue. It could be the fact that all right, they add the item to cart, your shipping is insane. Then it's like, I'm not paying that much in shipping. But you gotta think, like some people will add, let's just say, a 29.99 product, and the shipping is 10.99.
14.99, right?
Yeah, they're like, oh no, I'm good. So you
Nobody
just
wants
can't.
it that bad.
Yeah, nobody wants it that bad. So maybe you need to evaluate your shipping. It's like, okay, let me test today, offering either whatever you think your shipping should be. Try it out, see what works. So shipping could be a concern. It could be your product photography. Maybe it's not clear. I really encourage anyone, all of my clients, to get an actual photo shoot, like a product photography studio shoot. It's
Hmm.
iPhone is cool, but when it comes to your website, you have to think to the fact I am pushing people closer to a transaction. So the closer a person comes to a transaction, the more on point your business has to become.
Hmm.
So you can, I mean, iPhone is cool to start or Droid, it's cool to start. But when it comes to your actual website, that's where the money is happening. And that's where you need to invest in professional photography. So the photography could be awful. Your buttons could not work.
Ooh,
Your messaging could not be what it needs to be. Not enough information. Let's just say that.
that's a big
And
one for not enough information. Ooh, honey, I can tell you some stories.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just, I could talk on and on, but if you're seeing traffic coming to your website, that means your creative or whatever you're sharing online is working. But when they get to your site, it's like, I'm good. I don't trust it. So it's just like now the next step is I need to fix my website because I'm seeing the traffic. I'm not seeing the money. You're not seeing the money because people don't want to pay you and they don't
Ooh,
want to pay. They don't want to pay you because they don't like what they're seeing. That's
okay,
it.
that just hurt y'all feelings that they don't want to pay you. The traffic is there, but they don't want to pay you because they don't trust you and they don't like what they're seeing. That is a huge takeaway, guys. I know that like I just taught an Instagram workshop all about how to 10x your Instagram, but you can 10x your Instagram all day long if that's your marketing channel. If they get to that website and things are not working and they don't make sense and there's no product description and photography is terrible. I can't do anything for you, and neither can Bianca. You have to have your website on point. There are people that you can hire to help you with this. You don't have to figure this out all on your own. Look at your UX, look at your UI, make sure your buttons work, make sure your site looks trustworthy. Whew. And if you can't figure it out, just hire Bianca and bring your coins though. Bring your coins, right?
Right.
Uh, my next question for you. So the beauty industry is really, really competitive. What should beauty brand owners be focusing on more so than other brands in those spaces? Like what maybe is
Mm,
unique when you're in the beauty brand business that you need to focus on
mm.
as compared to other brands?
I would say quality products is one. So
Mm,
we definitely, because you got to think what you're selling. You're selling products. So has to be high quality, has to actually work. Take time to test your products, making sure you know the ins and outs. You don't want somebody to ask a question and you're like, "Ooh, I didn't think about that."
okay.
I can kind of going back a little bit on my story. One of the things that I did do before I started selling, I kind of skipped this, is I did test my hair out. So I put all my friends to work. All the ones that didn't wear weaves, they were wearing weaves that time. So
Smart.
I actually ordered hair for them to wear, and they just paid to get it styled. But test your products out to make sure they work. And whatever you're selling, just make sure you have a variety of personalities. Give it to the honest friend. Don't give it to the one that's
Mhm.
gonna love on you.
Right. Just hype you up and tell you the
Yeah, like girl, whatever you need. You don't need the girl, whatever you need. You need the one that says this sucks. Like
right.
you need the truthful friend. So definitely give the one that gives you a hard time and get feedback on your products and then use that feedback to make better products. So I think the one thing about beauty industry is it is very lucrative because women spend money on beauty. They want to look good for
And they
themselves.
always will.
Yes, they will. We always will. And we want to look good for ourselves. We want to look good for our friends, family, man, woman, whatever you're into. We want to look good. So the fact is, if you have great products and you have great service, it will pay itself out for you for sure.
I love
That's the
that.
main thing I say for beauty is
Is test
making sure
out
you
your
coming
product.
in,
Yeah.
test it out, make sure it works really good.
100%. And even that takeaway, guys, about the feedback, you need to be able to answer questions before your customer asks them. Your
Hmm.
FAQs, that's where your feedback goes into your FAQs. And let's say you are in the hair extension space, shedding, what type of shampoos to use, maintenance, all those things, but you cannot get those answers by just purchasing the hair, taking photos of it, and putting it up on social media or on your website. You don't have those answers because you haven't done the groundwork. You're not going to get the sales because you haven't done the groundwork and the testing. Your feedback is a major key. And like Bianca
Hmm.
said, not just from your mom, who's going to tell you everything you do is fantastic. Get in with people. Hey, ask somebody that don't like you. How about that? Ask them for their feedback. And if they can still come to you and say, you know what, I still don't rock with you, but this hair is bomb, then we're moving in the right direction.
Hmm.
Like get
Hmm.
risky. Ask your coworker that you know don't like you. You never ever know what type of feedback you can get and how you can utilize that in your messaging to your audience. That is a major key. Uh, so what are some of the areas you see most entrepreneurs miss the mark on? Like where are we leaving money on the table? What are we not taking advantage of with our websites?
Ooh,
Oh,
we
her
selling.
face just lit up, y'all. This is about to get good. Tell me. Oh, I'm ready.
We selling too much stuff. Like we selling
Oh.
everything that's unrelated to each other. So
Hmm.
one of the things that I was looking at was I've seen people that want to sell the lashes, they want to sell the hair, they
Hmm.
want to sell maybe a little bit of clothes with it and skincare. Like we're not building brands. We're building really flea markets and
Oh,
like
oh, oh,
that's not gonna work.
clutch my
Like
pearls. She called it a flea market, y'all. Oh,
it
I'm
is.
that's a good one.
I enjoy markets. I do. But when it comes to brand building, think about big brands. Are they having lashes and clothes together? No. Like that doesn't even make sense. And then you got to think about when it comes to a person coming to your site, how can you keep them spending money with you? So if they like your lashes, then what's the next thing you need to be selling? Lash glue. You need to
Right.
be selling that.
Things that make
So
sense. Oh, we're
things
gonna get
things
into that ascension model. We're gonna get into
yeah,
that.
you need to be selling all of those type of things. But common mistakes I see is like wanting to sell everything, not
Hmm.
investing in a website or like really stuck on something point blank period. You need to be on Shopify. I
Period.
don't care. I don't, if you're selling products, I don't care
Period.
how much that Wix is hitting, it's not
It's
hitting
not
for
hidden.
real.
It's a
It's
lie.
not hitting
It's
it's not hitting like
I tell
Shopify.
that to my drop shipping
Yeah.
student every single
Yes.
day. They're like, but I have a Squarespace. Delete. Delete. I
Yeah.
don't care if it's
Like,
free. If it's not on
yeah.
Shopify, I'm not coaching you.
No, it's not. And like we don't really look into our analytics, so we're not looking
Mm,
into what is actually working for
working.
us. We're selling too many products. We're not investing into actually building out a nice, seamless website. It's
Correct.
cool to build on your own in the beginning, but I really, really, really want you to put a budget to the side to actually get a website professionally designed. And there's so many outlets that you can use. There's Upwork that you can use. There's Fiverr that you can use, and you set your budget and they built to that. Also, brand identity. Have a form of an identity online. Have some seamlessness. And you can't have one font on your website and another font you're using on social media. Where is the unison? It doesn't match. So it's just like there's no correlation or matching between the experience on social media and the experience on web design. I see that all the time. It's not the same. Like Instagram will look crazy good and website will look what? It don't
Right.
look good at all. So it has to be seamless.
I love that. Major takeaways there, guys. The seamlessness and the cohesion between your social media and your website need to make sense. There's no point in you guys coming in my Instagram workshop and then moving on to your website and I'm lost. Now I already want to click off. I had this beautiful Instagram, this beautiful social media,
Mm-hmm.
highly curated. I'm ready to spend money with you and now I'm logging off. And actually I'm unfollowing you because now I feel scammed. I feel duped. I feel like you lied to me. I'm not here for it. And then that little flea market tip I love so much, guys. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to sell shoes and lawnmowers. Make it make sense. It makes it easier on you. It makes it
Mm-hmm.
easier on your customer. You seem a lot more trustworthy and you position yourself as an expert instead of a Jill of all trades and a master of none. Don't make things harder on yourself. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. My next question for you is you post a lot about the Ascension product suite model. We tapped on it a
Mm-hmm.
little bit, but I love
Mm-hmm.
it. I'm not in that space. I'm in the fashion space, so I don't understand it as well as I would like to. That's why I wanted to ask you about it. Tell me more
Mm-hmm.
about that Ascension product model and how brands can implement that.
Right. Good question. So the incision model is pretty much where you have one product, and then
Mhm.
after a person has experienced that product, what's the next offer you're going to have for them? So if let's just say you have a dress and they're like, I really love this dress, and it's just like, how can I get more wears out of this dress? Maybe you would tie in a matching coat or something to keep them utilizing your product, but also coming back for the next thing that they need. So when it comes to decision model, when it comes to products concerning, I think the easiest method and model to understand is skincare. So let's just say you have a cleanser. That's all you were selling is a cleanser. Everyone's loving this cleanser. They're loving this cleanser. And now they're like, okay, I'm cleansed out. Now I need something else. Like I've been cleansing, it's working. And before they go to something else, what's the next thing that they need? And that's where you need to come out with a toner. So a toner would be something you offer. So they buy the cleanser and they buy the toner, then they buy the moisturizer. So it's pretty, in essence, you're building out a funnel of products that
Mhm.
keeps a person spending money with you. You don't want them to run out and be bored with, okay, she keeps selling the same thing. She's not offering anything else. I need to go somewhere else to get the next best thing. So whenever I was talking to someone about eyelashes, they were like, well, I don't know what else to offer. So I asked a group of women, what else do you use when you're wearing lashes? And they started naming a ton of different things that they use with their lashes. So think
Ooh.
about when it comes to your product, what are those ton of different things that people can use your product for? So if you're
Mhm.
doing a dress, maybe you do shoes, do a jacket, bangles, headband. Like you got to kind of build out that entire outfit. So a Cision model is pretty much the outfit of
Mhm.
the product itself. So it's pretty much everything in once that kind of stacks on top of each other. And in order to have the complete look or system, you need to buy everything.
I love that idea. Think of your product as a part of a system because your sales are going to grow. Your AOV is going to be booming. You're going to make it easier on yourself. I love
Mhm.
that. I can't see any downside to that product model.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
just a winner. That sounds like a moneymaker all the way around.
Mhm.
Guys, I did not forget the get drunk cocktail of the day. Bianca doesn't drink. She told
I
me flat
don't.
out she is not with the vibes, and my heart is broken. No, no wine, no champagne, no like nothing.
Nothing.
If we go
Juice
to the
me,
club, you
please.
ordering a Sprite?
I might order. I know. Actually, I'll order a drink and I'll say no alcohol. So I have a mojito. Skip the alcohol. So I will look like the vibe. I will look like the vibe. I
Oh
look
my
like the
God.
vibe.
Where do
But
I find
I
people that don't drink? I don't know how this happened, y'all. This is the Get Rich or Get Drunk podcast, but Bianca's heavy on the rich, so we're going to let her slide on the drunk.
Right, that's so funny.
I'm going to let you get away with that. We're going to have a mocktail mojito just for you today. I will come, actually, guys, I will drop a recipe for some fun mocktails inspired by Bianca. I got you guys. Just peep the show notes. I always take care of you.
Oh yeah, yes, and your non-drinking friend is gonna love you because they're gonna feel included.
Okay, well,
So
I'm
yeah.
doing. You've inspired me, babe. I got another question. What are some of the must-haves that you think brand owners should have on their websites to inspire visitors to convert? What are the must-have website pieces?
Gotcha. Good question. So first thing, you'll have to have a hero image. Hero image is pretty much that in your face, attracting. When I go to your website, what's the first thing I see? That's pretty much your hero image. Also, you want to have your shop now or buy now above the fold. And when I say above the fold, that means I don't have to scroll down to actually shop with you. You also want to make sure it takes about 3 to 4 clicks to actually check out. I would say three is best. So definitely test your website to see how many clicks does it take for a person to actually spend money with you. Another thing that I would say is the product photography has to happen. Like, listen, just because someone does personal brand photography does not mean they know how to shoot products.
Ooh.
So I I love my brand photographers. I love my personal
Hmm.
brand photographers, but it's just a different type of eye when it comes to like shadows and the editing and like really hone into having a proper product photographer. Also, a little juice nugget that I like to include is embed actual product usage video in your product page.
Hmm.
So think about, I'm gonna speak on clothes first. I know a lot of your listeners may be wearing or sell clothes. So ASOS or Pretty Little Things, like they
Hmm.
actually have the video where you can watch how the wear or the garment actually flows. So when it comes to product, same thing. You want to show how the product actually flows or how to apply it, how to use it, how to wear it, because some people are just visual. So that's where you got to kind of understand, how am I going to get this sell? Some people are going to read what you said, some people are going to look at pictures, and some people are going to watch. You need to
Hmm.
be able to have all three of those on your product page whenever you're selling online. So this is.
Yes. And you
Mhm.
know what? That tells me that I'm doing it right because electric87.com, y'all, you will see videos for every single piece of merchandise I sell. You will see a 2 or 3 second clip of a video of an actual garment in motion, and it absolutely has helped my sales. As you know, I will link it in the show notes for you guys that want to check it out. That's a big, big tip. These websites need to sell for you. If a customer does not know you from a can of paint, you need to give
Mhm.
them every opportunity possible to shop with you. And that is a huge tip. It should only take me 3 clicks to check out. If I got to hit 17 buttons, I'm already over it. You wonder why your abandoned cart rates are sky high? It's probably because it's going to take me 99 steps to check out with you. And I don't have that type of time. And I don't even know
Mhm.
you. I don't like your brand or trust your brand enough
Mhm.
to have to go through all of that work. If I'm sorry, if Amazon says I can do a 1 click purchase, but with your website, I got to do a 17-click purchase. Make it make sense for me, guys. Make it make sense. I got another question for you. So many new entrepreneurs sweat and stress over having a commonly sold product. How can they use differentiation to stand out in their market?
So it's so I think that's gonna boil down to like that positioning, thinking about like what's gonna be my secret weapon.
Mm.
So I like to study my competitors and see what they're doing well, and then in what case can I either do better. If I can't do better, I'm not gonna compete.
Yeah.
So if I can't do better, I'm not gonna compete. But also, what are their weaknesses? So studying that. So some people, when you think about big retail or mass retail, one of their weaknesses is they don't have any ties to their consumers. Like
Mhm.
they've been around for so long, they don't even have a tribe. So it's just like with you, maybe you can build out your own community, and then you just have a lot of purchasing encouragement or buying power from consumers because you have such a strong community. A lot of big brands, they don't really have as much of that. Like they can't, people just buy, like maybe like my mom used to shop there, so I'm gonna shop there. It's really
Mhm.
no true emotional connection. So it's just like maybe I want to establish emotional connection with my consumers, but kind of thinking about if a lot of people do what you do, then find where the flaws or where the shortcomings are. So the shortcomings, like I said, could be in shipping. Like, hey, I'm looking at big brands, or I'm looking horizontally at brands that are like mine, and I'm noticing that they're actually taking 14 days to ship. Well, maybe I don't want to use the post office. Maybe I'll actually go into FedEx and actually establish an account, and I'll have quicker shipping. So now I can tell you, you get your products faster, guaranteed, or something to that nature. Kind of just studying where the shortcomings are and how you can insert yourself, and then also establishing connections with other people and allowing them to spread the word for you too.
I love the idea of how a mass market retailer will never have a tribe. It just doesn't
No.
exist. It's not possible for them. So you as the little guy, you can build that community. That's what the
Mm-hmm.
Pinterest and the Facebook groups and the Instagrams and the clubhouse apps are for. You can actually connect one to one
Yeah.
or one to several in these small
Right.
groups and build relationships with people on free apps that will make you stand out against those large competitors because you will never beat them on
Yeah.
Facebook ads. It's a waste of your
Right.
time. You will never
Right.
ever get that type of exposure. But what you can do is build a loyal community within these apps, and they will become marketers for you. Then you have word
Mm-hmm.
of mouth, which is one of the most incredible things that you can ever have as a business owner. I love that, Bianca. That is a huge, 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 huge
Yeah.
takeaway. That's a big one. Love it. I hope y'all are writing this down, honey, because
Okay.
she is giving. Take notes. Always take notes. I've got one more question for you. So
Sure.
in my Instamarketer workshop, my students were having like spasms when I was talking to them about how branding is not your logo. Like there's just so much more to branding than having a logo. And people are like, "What? I thought I picked colors. I've got a logo. I should be all set." I'm sure you face that issue sometimes with clients as well. What branding mistakes are you seeing entirely too often? And are there some dope branding tips that you can share for the culture?
Common branding mistakes.
Yes, hit me.
Um,
Other
let's
than the fact that they think that their logo is their brand.
I mean that the logo, I think a lot of branding, like people are not really they're not noticing. They don't know who their actual customer is.
Hello,
So
target audience.
like they don't know who they want to target. And when I ask deeper questions about their customer, it actually sparks a lot of like, wow, I never thought about this about, who I serve and
Mhm.
what problems I'm solving, who I'm here to help, what are they liking, what are their interests, how my products are what they need. And like, those are like things that I would think that you would really need to look for. Also, the branding, when we talked about like the aesthetic of the social media looking amazing and the website looking like, wow, like crazy, just not kind of
Mhm.
correlating with each other. That's one of the branding mistakes. And also, like when you're building out your logo, you also gonna build out everything around it too. So it all needs to make sense.
Right.
And I also want to say when it comes to like the metallics and the like metal type of sparkles, those are
And
not
glitter.
colors.
Glitter.
The glitter, like those are not colors. So when it comes to you wanting to transition to the next level, and they're like, hey, can you send us pretty much your brand identity or let us know your colors? And you have glitter, they can't make that happen. Like that's not it. So
Ooh.
that's a
You
common
just
branding
heard
mistake.
somebody feelings in the audience.
A glitter is not a color.
You
It's
know what?
not.
That's gonna be the name of this episode. Glitter is not a color. Look, that's it,
Gl-
y'all. Glitter is not a color. You heard it. It's not me. It's not
yeah.
me. It's Bianca Telly. I concur, but it's not me. Get in
It's
her
not.
DMs. She already told you sparkle is not a color code. Okay,
It's
it's
not.
Pantone. Canva don't
Mm-mm.
have it. It's not available. I don't know what to
It's
tell
not.
you. And it does not
No.
help you guys in the long term. Like, yes, that might be cute today, but is that something sustainable? Does that make sense for your brand long term? Is that going to be able to be passed down, to your kids as something that lives beyond you? Is that something scalable? Is that something that you can sell? Don't just think of, is it cute today? Is it going to be cute and cool and work for your brand long term? Major,
Mm-hmm.
major key. Now, Bianca, as a wealthy woman, okay, I need a get rich tip. What do the people need to be doing to get their finances right and tight here in 2021?
Get their finances right and tight.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm.
Personal or business. Hit me with the get rich tip of the week.
Person, Personally, definitely need to pay your statements. The credit card statement, pay the balance off. But I would say keep track of your utilization of your card. So just know kind of like if you're going to go over your utilization, kind of think about what that does for you because that does mark against your credit. So make sure you budget it out. Like budget this month, I'm going to spend X, Y, and Z and stay within that. Like that's something that has been helpful for me. Also, if you can get any form of business credit that can separate from your personal credit, that would be fantastic. So as you're like purchasing a lot of different items and accruing all of these different costs, it's not gonna, go against your personal credit line. So I would look into with your bank or your credit union how you can establish some form of business credit and what that looks like, and then stay within your means on your business credit so that you can grow it. And as you paying things off, call the company that you are getting the business credit for and ask them for an increase. They will increase you, but make sure you're mindful of this. Don't go too crazy where they increase you and now you're stuck. You got to
Right.
pay it back. So I would just try to establish some form of separation between personal credit and business credit. Go to your institution, your banking institution, and ask how can you be considered for business credit, and whatever you're able to get approved for, spend that, pay it back, of course, but give them a call and say, hey, I'm interested in actually increasing my credit limit, and they'll look at your account like, okay, you've been actually a healthy customer of theirs, so they'll go ahead and increase it so that you can spend more money and run it as you want. So I would try to use business credit as much as I possibly can over personal credit if possible.
Absolutely. That is a major hack, guys. And it is possible, period. Business credit has nothing to do with your personal credit. You guys need to be establishing business credit. Why are you paying out of pocket? That's not how business works. This is not a hobby. This is a business. Your money needs to be separate. Your credit needs to be separate. You can
Mm-hmm.
build and get the things that you need, be able to invest in that marketing, be able to invest in those products if you have your business credit right and tight. Get started today. Actually, I might build something out about that. Yeah, major tip.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Bianca. I appreciate you for that good
You're welcome.
idea. Lastly, I would like a book. The Get Rich Girls love to read. We love to learn. Is there a book that has been super impactful, either in your business or your personal life, that has led you to be the boss babe that you are? Hit me with it.
So honestly, I'm gonna read the book that I'm looking at right now, and it's not what your standard like read. It's called
Oh,
Words. It's called Words That Sell.
I
And
already saw that on your Instagram and already looked
yes,
it up and already added it to my cart. So
add
yes,
it to
please
your
tell me
cart,
more.
y'all. So it's pretty much a book it's a copywriting book to a degree, and it tells you variation of words that cause people to purchase and buy from you. And it's more so of a helpful resource than an actual, typical book that you read. But it has the sauce and the tea is in it. So it's an easy purchase, and I think people would appreciate it because it can help all different industries on what type of wording and language you should use in your social media, on your website, and so forth. So, Words That Sell is the book that I want you all to go ahead and get. It is a resource and it's going to be incredibly helpful for you.
Yes, love that. Agreed. It's already in my cart. Let me thank you for reminding me. Let me go ahead and check out. And guys, that's something that you can implement across all your social channels. You need that for your email marketing. You need that for your
Mm-hmm.
website. You need that for your CTAs and your Instagram. We've talked about this in the workshop. My dropshipping students, you guys need that too. Words that sell. There's a psychology that goes into why people buy the things that they buy. It is our job as brand owners, as business owners, as influencers, however you like to categorize yourself, you have to be the person that teaches them what they want to
Mm-hmm.
buy. They don't know they want it. You have to make them want it. and your photography, your website, your social media, and most importantly, your actual copy moves people into doing that. Be sure to check out a episode, I think I'm gonna say like 42. I had Shan on what Shan wrote. I will link that episode for you guys. She's a master copywriter. That is a major key. Bianca, you have been lovely, brilliant,
Thank you.
super cute. You gave the people content, honey. I knew you would, and you gave it to them. Like, some feelings have been hurt, some glitter has been deleted. Now they know that they're running a flea market, but we're gonna get them together, me and you.
Yes, absolutely.
We are going to get them together. And per usual, I will be linking all of Bianca's information in the show notes, guys. Do you have something that the people can connect with you immediately on if they want to work with you? Is there a consultation? Is there a program? Is there an accelerator? I know there is.
There's
How
all
can
the
they get
things.
in? How can they get in the fold?
Oh, right. So first thing, my Instagram is Bianca Builds Brands. So that's Bianca Builds Brands. So that's my Instagram. And then how to work with me, I do have an accelerator. It's actually going to be 12-week program. The next little phase of it is going to be June 2021. So that's
Okay,
when
so
it's going to
get your
coming
coins
out.
together, sis.
And I also have a beauty brand school, which is a membership for those that are wanting to step into the beauty industry, not quite seeing the consistency that they want and with money, but looking for something a little bit more affordable to give them a jump start. So I do have a jump start program called Beauty Brand School. It is a membership, and you can find more information about it on my Instagram, or you can private message me and I'll give you the link to join. It's incredibly affordable for you, and it will be helpful so that you can move into my accelerator and we can go from there.
Oh, that's a big deal. I love that idea. That is major beauty brand wellness. People, if you want to align with the best, the receipts are here. Bianca's got you covered. I will link all of that in the show notes. It was a pleasure to have you, babe.
You too.
All right, guys, that does it for me this week. I want to again thank Bianca Rush, aka Bianca Builds Brands, for joining me on this episode. And I want to thank you guys and remind you to subscribe to the show, follow me on Instagram, email me if you've got something to say about the show. It's Asia at getrichorgetdrunktrying.com, and I will see you guys next week.